See how y'all? See how y'all? Look, now he's gotta go back there and sign up.
He gonna say he signed.
You know, listen, I am the worst. If y'all get like a text message from me and it's 3 days late,
Right.
it's because I typed it the moment you sent it to me.
Uh-huh.
But there's that button that's got an arrow that says send. I can't use that thing. I don't know what's wrong with me. I cannot remember. And I do it all the time. Okay, I don't need it. Okay.
I know what I need to get. I need to get a pen. You got it?
I don't really care about this. I just wanna get to that. All right, y'all, let's say a prayer before we start. How about that?
Yep, sounds good.
God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together, opportunity to serve your people, Lord, to put us up. Lord, be with us, keep us, and guide us, and make our decisions pleasing in your sight. And Lord, every step we take, faith in us, one step closer to you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
All right. Dun, dun, dun.
Mike's on.
We gotta turn them on too. I like watching something. Watch your back. Wait, harass me so bad that I shouldn't be that way. All right. Okay, guys, bam, bam, bam. It is that time. We will call this meeting to order. Let me, pull up Kelly's thing here before she talks about me. Not that she would. I am not turning that mic on. Y'all can hear me on yours, I'm sure. It'll be all right. I got faith in it. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right, let's start. We'll call the meeting to order. Let's do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're gonna get you a glass, and you look like a man. You butt that thing, they'll get you. We'll make you look like somebody. All right, have a moment of silence for our invocation. All righty. All right, we have, public comment. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 people signed up, and you got 3 minutes, and Bill, wear it. It's your show, but you gotta go to the podium, the podium. All right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the town board. My name is Bill Warrett. I'm a member of Cornerstone Baptist Church and currently serving on the board of directors of the church. I'd like to thank each of you for serving in the capacity that you do for the town of Cleveland. I'd like to speak to you about the proposal for the sidewalk on Depot Street and Main Street. We as property owners are in agreement that the sidewalk is in desperate need of repair for both cosmetic as well as safety concerns. We're thankful that you're considering repairing the sidewalk as a part of the proposal. You're going to hear concerns about the parking situation for common ground property, so I'd like to offer a solution for that projected sidewalk. Rather than putting a step curb sidewalk that would prohibit access to the current parking, we would propose that there be a flat curb sidewalk that would allow continued access to the parking as we do now. If structural integrity is a concern, we would suggest that at least 6 inches of concrete and rebar with a compression strength of 4,000 PSI, perhaps a C35 grade or higher. We also feel that these recommendations should be added to the grant request. It's been my experience that when you make such requests, that you need to be specific in the request when it is made to avoid any misunderstanding as well as avoid delays in the entire process, from planning to completion of the project. In closing, I want to thank you for the opportunity to express our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, Rebecca Favors.
So, I would like to speak about the improvements that are listed in this thing that I received. And so it's called improvements from you guys. But in summary, as the proposal, we understand it, that new curb sidewalk would run down the side of South Depot Street towards the Masons Lodge with 2 flat entrances into the common ground parking lot. Parallel parking would then be added on both sides of South Depot Street. So the impact on parking capacity and customer flow for common ground. So curbing the full length of South Depot Street and converting the side of our building to street parking reduces the number of customers who can access both common ground and the post office at any given time. The side of our building currently holds about 6 to 7 cars, depending on vehicle size and how people park. Those cars can represent anywhere from 1 to 4 customers each. Common ground averages 60 to 140 transactions a day, usually concentrated in 2 windows. From 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., we can see about 30 to 60 cars, and then another window, which is from 2 to 5 p.m., averaging about 20 to 50 cars. A transaction does not always equal the number of people in the store, but it almost always represents a vehicle that needs a parking spot. If the town plans to grow for growth in the next 5 to 10 years, which you say, we also need to plan according to the growth in our customer traffic as well. So that requires adequate parking. As a town, you like to say we support and encourage local small businesses. However, this proposal hinders businesses instead of helping them. So under this proposal, the side parking along our building becomes unusable. Street parking on South Depot Street also creates obstacles that would limit access to our back parking lot. The upper area near the Town of Cleveland sign becomes dead space because vehicles would not have enough room to pull in and park correctly. The back section of our parking lot already needs clear access for post office vehicles, delivery trucks, and emergency access, which then limits the area to about 10 customer spaces, which by removing the porta-johns, it would also add 2 more spaces. So employees of Common Ground and the post office use between 4 to 9 spaces themselves, leaving very little still for customers. So in section 1 of Article 5 of the zoning ordinance of the Town of Cleveland, it discusses this, and it states, such parking spaces, access drives, and maneuvering areas providing vehicular access to a street or alley shall not thereafter be encroached upon or altered, and the number of parking spaces shall be equal in number to at least the minimum requirement for the specific use set forth below. So according to our understanding, the proposal directly encroaches upon and alters the existing parking spaces along the east side of our building. Ordinance requires that we maintain these spaces and keep them unaltered, and we are required to provide at least 10 on-site parking spaces. So if our parking is restricted to only the back portion of our lot, meaning this requirement becomes difficult given that the space is also used not just by Common Ground customers and employees, but also by the post office, porta-johns, and members of the Masons Lodge. So impact during events and high-use times. So recently our church hosted a car show on South Depot Street. We blocked off part of our parking lot for food and vendors, which forced all parking into the upper section. So if curbing and street parking were installed, this scenario would not be available for any future events. During Community Day on November 1st, vendors filled our back parking lot from early morning until mid-afternoon. Therefore, customers visiting Common Ground or the post office had to rely on the street in front of both buildings and the side of our building. During town events, those areas are non-event parking, so which further restricts even more access again to our business. On Wednesday nights, our church regularly has 20 or more cars on site for Bible studies. We have already had to coordinate how attendees park so we can maximize the available space there. Removing the side parking would make it nearly impossible to fit everyone. On Tuesday nights, the Masons use the lot for their meetings. This week, more than 15 cars filled both sides of South Depot Street and most of our lower parking lot. Cars were packed so tight that employees had difficulty exiting the lot without hitting any of the Masons' vehicles. So because the Masons arrived before Common Ground closes, the proposed parking setup would likely result in customers and or employees being blocked in. So parking at Common Ground is not just limited to coffee and ice cream customers. It is also used by people needing resources from our food pantry and those seeking help in our counseling center. In addition to post office visitors, people with passport appointments, customers visiting Leo's, which is across the street for haircuts, and residents who just want to park and walk through town because they don't live on Main Street and want a safe place to leave their car.
Thank you. Michael Riggs.
Can I ask one question really quick?
Yeah.
This says I have a maximum of 3 minutes. That says I have a minimum of 3 minutes. And as a pastor, I'd much rather go with a minimum of 3 minutes.
Well, listen, you're doing battle with me. You know how I like to talk. Good gracious, I think that ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to change that. We need to change that.
I'll go with this
an
one.
impossible 3 minutes is probably a better thing to do.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. All right.
All right.
I would like to ask the board to amend your agenda to provide clarification and transparency in the submission authorization of this grant proposal. I would ask this grant proposal, I was told that this grant proposal could not be submitted to the DOT until it was approved by this Board of Commissioners. I was told that it was not on the agenda for this meeting and approved that it is not. I was told that if that's the case, then the earliest it is likely to be discussed would be the December meeting. However, in a separate conversation, I was told that the submission deadline for this grant is Friday, but the hope is to submit it tomorrow or Wednesday of this week. The understanding then is that this board has already approved this proposal. I think there is a vast misunderstanding of what this board has approved and what yet still needs to be approved by this board. Therefore, it seems to me that there's a misunderstanding of who actually has the final authority to submit this grant proposal. I would encourage you as a board to clarify this misunderstanding both for yourselves and for us who are gathered here today. I would also like to ask you to amend your agenda so that you can be transparent and make public what you have told me and other members of our community in private. Members of this board, you have told me and others that you do not agree with this proposal as it is written. You have told me and others that adding step curving and parallel parking that eliminates parking, quote, does not make sense. Quote, it is ridiculous. Quote, it would be screwing you and we don't want to do that. You agreed that this proposal would hinder businesses in that area. Some have even gone as far as to say this will not happen. This is what you have told us in private. However, when we've requested a proposal that reflects those statements or that your statements be put in writing, the answer has always been, we will deal with that later. Benjamin Franklin famously said, do not put off till tomorrow what you could do today. You could make your statements public today. You could address these concerns today instead of hoping that we can address them later. You could write and submit a proposal that you actually agree with, and you could do that today instead of trying to fix one later. In fact, it would be very simple. All it would take is for one of you to make a motion to amend your agenda, someone to second that, and the rest of you would get to vote on amending the agenda. After that, one of you could say, I make a motion to withdraw this proposal. Someone could second it, and then you could vote on it. Or you could say, I make a motion that any proposal concerning the west side of South Depot Street only include drive-over curbing and exclude step curbing and parallel parking. If one of you would make that motion, then one of you could second that motion, and the rest of you could make what you have told me in private public for all of us to hear. My friends, I know this is not church, but I want to share with you Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 7 and 8. Talk is cheap, like daydreams and other useless activities. Do not be surprised if you see poor people being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. For every official is under orders from higher up. The matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. My friends, today you have a chance to assure us that our concerns are not going to be lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Today you have a chance to put value and actions to your work, and it can be done with 2 simple motions, 2 simple seconds, and 2 simple votes. In fact, that could be done in less than the minimum of 3 minutes. I would ask that you simply listen and amend your agenda to discuss this proposal and the misunderstandings of what is and has not been approved by this board itself.
Scott Isley.
Good evening. I'm not much for public speaking. I like to talk to people face to face most of the time. But have we looked at alternatives if y'all have decided on this? As in, I saw the number that was on the proposed budget for this event. You could pave that whole parking area for that amount of money and have your road curbing, and it would look so nice and professional
that we
And you
would get
wouldn't
thrown
hand it
in
up?
jail,
What's that?
that we would get thrown in jail for paving private property. It wouldn't be
Well-
nothing but all of us, we would all have a nice warm place to
Well,
stay
I'm
then.
just saying, with that amount of money, you could do that. I do
I'm with you, I'm
concrete,
with you.
So, yeah, anyhow.
You scared me there, though.
No. All right, so have y'all thought about alternatives? Another thought, I was told by someone in this room that I understand that Highway 70 belongs to North Carolina State DOT, and we don't have anything to do with that. But Depot Street don't belong to them. So we don't have to abide to anything to them, as I understand things, on Depot Street. That belongs to the town of Cleveland. So that is solely up to the town of Cleveland what occurs on that particular piece of property. Another thought, why was it never posted for the public to see this? Just a question, something that everybody can think about. This proposal has never been posted for the public to see. There's all kinds of postings out there for stuff that's been, proposed, but this one hasn't been, okay? So my question is, does someone have a private agenda they're trying to attain here? Just something to think about. Was there some sort of complaint about the parking that's been going on at Common Ground? If it was, no one came to us. As church believers, brothers in Christ, we believe if you got a problem with somebody, you go and you address it to that person. You don't go beat around the bush about it and try to do it and see if you can't work out a common resolution. Again, it was talked about putting flat curbing instead. Curbing moves the water, cars can drive over it. If water's the issue while you were doing curbing, flat curbing works, especially coming down that hill. You've seen it on the other side of the road. And that's about all I got. But thank y'all for your time.
Well, you and Michael did a lot better than I thought. I thought that would be the ones that was gonna run over meetings. I was got to bang something. I thought for sure those were gonna be the ones. That wasn't it, huh? That wasn't it at all. All right.
You didn't have me up there.
Well, we're not racing. I'm fine with you. As long as we're not running up and down the street, that's all right. All right, so number one, I'm gonna go back and give you the whole history of this so we all understand. Number one, what happened was, I'll give you the whole thing so everybody's on clear objective as what's going on here. There is no proposal as of yet. There is a chance for us to go get money for a grant to do the work. We don't have a proposal written in stone. We don't have any of that. What we have is what the state recommended, but they have to come back to us. The state can't touch or do anything on Depot Street without our approval. But this is what they did. So in order for us to apply for the grant, the best way for us to get the money and to use the state's money that I think all of us have paid in here that we don't ever get a handle on, is to send it back to them and request a grant and say, hey, here's what we're thinking, what are you thinking? We sent back exactly what they sent to us. We haven't sent it yet, and the reason we can't do that is November 14th is the last day for submittal. The state came to us originally and said, hey, we've got this amount of money in your section, and you guys are the only ones that could qualify for this, and here's what we can do with it. But you have to apply for this grant. It's all about getting the grant. It has nothing to do with any proposals or anything yet. What they wrote on that sheet is, hey, we do this crosswalk, we could go down there and do the curbing. Well, that's fine. We don't have the money. The whole idea is to get the grant. There is no proposal, no set in stone plans, nothing like that. At this point in time, the whole message is to try to get a grant. That's what the letter of support was about, was say, hey, yeah, we think this would be a worthy project. Would the state give us the money? But until we get the money, we don't have anything to go on, because I don't know how far $450,000 will go at the state's budgeted rate. It might take $175,000 to put in 4 crosswalks, and they're going to put those in. Listen, we're going on state money. I can't tell you how. It's not private. It goes completely state. That's what the whole thing is. The proposal is not anything other than what the state recommended. Here's what we can do with this money. You could do with this money if we give it to you. We first have to get the money. Now, what are our chances for that? I don't know. But we have to turn in the grant. Grant needs to be turned in Thursday. If we don't turn it in Thursday, we don't get anything. It's a moot point. We don't know anything unless we get the grant money. That's what this whole thing is. There's nothing written down. There's nothing going down as far as plans. And I would never let them do that without putting that type of curbing in it. I want you to think for a second. Why would I cut off my nose? Why would we as a board cut off our nose to spite our face? We own the post office. Why would we do anything to jeopardize our own parking? That would be like something they do in Washington. Not here in Cleveland. We can't do that. So I'm just telling you, take a breath for a second and listen to what I'm telling you. This is not the proposal. This is to get grant money. And that's what's in front of you. And that's all we're trying to do. If we don't get the grant money, we don't do anything. We get the grant money and they come in and say, hey, here's what we're thinking. We say, well, here's what we're thinking. You can't do anything on our street without us. But if we don't, there's no need for us to do that. If we don't get the money, we've wasted engineering and we've wasted another $20,000 or $30,000 on plans that we don't get to use, which would be a foolish waste of money. That's why it goes this route. I'm sorry, I know it's confusing, but it's also the state. I'll give you an example really close. This street back here behind us, Mimosa Street. We all know we've been trying to get that done. In order for the state to do the work, even though the DOT, Senator Ford and Representative Howard all gathered money together in thirds to pay for the project, we had to give the state Mimosa Street. Right now at this time, the town doesn't own Mimosa Street. The state, the North Carolina State DOT owns Mimosa Street. Once they finish the work, then they're going to come back and give us the street back because they can't work on a city street that's not theirs. Now that is just how the state operates. I wish it wasn't that way. It seems foolish to me, but that is a prime example of what we have to go through to get that work done. Even though DOT said, yes, that work needs to be done, and our senator and our representative all backed it. Same thing on this. What we have to do is get the money. We don't get the money, we ain't got nothing. But in order to get the money, we have to submit a grant. The quickest way and best way to not cause any confusion to get the money is send them back what they sent to us. Because they recommended it. What can they say? Oh, we can't give you this because it's not what we recommended. They can't say that. Here it is. This is what you recommended. You called us and said, we want to give you this money, but you got to turn in the grant. That's where we are in this process, nowhere else. There's been no plans to change parking or to do anything other than we got to do something to that sidewalk if we don't get this from them because it's going to be crumbly and in a million pieces. So that'll be a different bridge when we can do it. But if we could get the state to pay for it, that's where we are. So I just want you to think nobody's going to do that and stop your parking. The board, I know everybody here and the old board and everybody here has worked very hard to make sure we do everything in the world to make sure you guys are successful because it is very important to the town to keep the downtown going well. So we're not going to do anything to jeopardize that. But I got to send the state, I got to kind of brush I don't want to stroke their ego, but I'm stroking their ego, hoping they'll line our pockets so then we can move forward. And that's exactly how that works in layman's terms. And I hope that answers your questions. And if not, please don't hesitate. Yes, sir.
I do have two questions.
Okay.
One, if we don't know how much this is gonna cost, then where do we come up with $443,000?
That would be the state's engineer's assessment of what it's there. But the $443,000 is how much money's available.
And so in the last year that this proposal has been somewhere in this office.
Not in here for a year. How long has it been here, Kelly? Has it been a whole year set here? And see, we haven't seen it because we've been trying to find the grants for it. And that's the whole thing is to get the grant.
date on this paper is 2024.
Okay. But that's the state coming by.
This file has been in somebody's pocket somewhere, and yet nobody has let it be known.
Again, hold on.
And you're
About the
telling me
proposal.
nothing is in writing, but this is in writing.
It is in writing. And read it though. If we don't have the money, we don't have anything. That's the whole thing is to solicit the money. If we don't have the money, we don't have anything to work with.
So then I would suggest that you be honest and put in writing what you actually want to do, rather than asking for money for something that is on a piece of paper that you actually don't want to do. Be honest. Put in writing what you want to do, please.
I can put that in writing, but I can't get it done because I have to have an engineer study. The state sends their engineer. I can't get an engineer study and turn it in by Thursday. If I miss the 4:30, guess what? Sidewalk's gonna stay like it is. Then we're gonna have the problem that I see, and it's coming, we're gonna get in it somewhere along the line. Somebody's gonna fall at one of the concerts, or we're gonna have to stop the concerts, and they're gonna say, whose gravel's this out in the road? Why is it not picked up? And all it takes is one kid get hurt and their daddy be a lawyer. And then we're all gonna be in that boat, because they're gonna come say, whose parking lot's this? And they're gonna say, well, that's Common Grounds parking lot, it's a town event, and here we go. So that's what we're trying to not get involved in. Yes, sir.
So, is there a way that you can turn it in and just amend it slightly, say, we agree with everything except for, instead of step curbing, we want flat curbing?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
That's simple.
Can y'all propose to do that?
We can do that, but the whole thing
I
again,
understand the
you
whole
see what I'm
thing,
saying
get
is,
the money.
it's not, it's about the money, y'all. It has nothing to do with the plans, because the state will come back and say, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna say, we have to have town's approval, we're gonna say no. I'll give you another example, the fine example of our state, things we deal with. When they four-lane 40, when they four-lane 70 out here, because it was a 4-year ordeal of nothing. We had to go, everywhere our water lines went underneath 70, we had to sleeve them, right? We had to sleeve them, which is nothing more than saying we're putting a pipe inside of a pipe, in case one breaks, we can yank it through without digging the road up. We got ready to do that again, state had to extend theirs. And we had their engineer go in there. And they said, yeah, we're gonna run this across there. I said, I don't see in here where it's sleeved. They said, well, we're not gonna sleeve it. And I said, no, that's not the way we're gonna play this game. I said, we had to sleeve everything we did. You're gonna sleeve yours, or you're gonna pay us, and then we're gonna sleeve it, and we're gonna charge you 3 times what it'll cost you. You can either sleeve it now, or we're gonna dig it up and have you do it later. And that's how you have to deal with the state. It's not, y'all, it's not like us dealing with each other and writing it down. It's just it's a drawn out thing to get the water.
I just have a quick
Yes, ma'am.
clarification, couple of things. So we've got grants before given to us.
Right.
Usually whenever you get a grant given to you, you can't really change the plan.
But who'd you get the grant from?
Different kind of.
Did you get it from the
foundations.
state of North Carolina?
Okay, so the
That's
whole
the difference.
entire understanding of during the state of North Carolina, there's a 10% contingency thing. So you only have 10% in which is contingent. That means changes could alter. You're saying we're gonna send this exact thing back to the Department of Transportation with no alternatives, nothing, because you can't get an engineer out here to a piece of paper or a proposal that you've had for over enough time to do what you're saying that you can't do, right? Because you don't wanna do it, you don't want to amend it, because you say you don't have enough time for Thursday at 4:30, when I'm pretty sure you've had this for at least a couple more than what we've had it for.
It takes an engineer to amend it, right? So that's gonna cost us money, and why bother doing that if we don't have the money?
We don't
or
have the
can't
money.
get the money?
Thank you. If we don't have the money, there's nothing we can do, y'all. It's the whole proposal is to get the money, please.
Could a graphic designer not do exactly what's on
No,
this
It's
paper?
gotta be an
no,
engineer.
engineer.
So it-
Listen, all right, but if you write a grant, which we've also written a few grants, you're not the Lone Ranger there, Tano. I'm telling you, we've done a bunch of them. I've done it for several. The best way for us to guarantee ourselves to get a grant is to speak in their language. Now, this is their proposal. This is what the state proposes with that money, correct? That's how much money's there. But if we do not get the money, we don't have anything. If we get the money, then we come out and we start redrawing plans and saying, hey, we can do this way or not. That's where we are. As the town, if we don't get the money, we can't go down that street right now. It's just a matter of money.
Your explanation, I think it's dishonest to ask for money for something you don't intend on doing.
And I really feel bad because, Michael, I take that, I don't take it personally. That's not it. That's not right. But I feel let down by you guys because I know how much work I did to make sure you guys have been successful in what you've done. The town has made sure we don't have anybody that conflicts with what you guys do and all that. We turn away people a lot. We're trying to make sure you're successful. We're not going to do anything. And what all of you are telling me is you don't believe anything we're saying, yet we put ours out there.
Because we've asked you to put it in writing, and you have refused to do that.
It's not, we just want to turn the grant in. We get the grant and they come in and plans, I promise you, we'll sit down and we'll all sit down and say, here it is. But if we don't have the money, we're spinning our wheels. There's no money, we can't do it. Yes, ma'am.
So here's my question on the grant side of it, is if you get this grant money,
Uh-oh, whole new
That is
Jane.
North Carolina State. Will they not fine you if you don't follow through with what their specs was?
No.
on that?
No, 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 no.
Or
And
jerk that money back from you?
well, the thing is, we can apply for every bit of that money, but what if we get 50,000 of it? What if we don't get 423,000?
But I'm saying, what legal rights do they have?
If they give it all to me, then, hey, we can come in here and have a conversation, say, hey, how's this set up best for us on Depot Street? Because it's a town street. But again, we can't say anything about Main Street. Main Street's gonna be their call. If they don't own the street, I mean, as long as we don't turn that street over to them to do that work, it's fine. But if we turn the street over to them, the state's gonna do.
If you get the grant, who's gonna actually do the work? Who's gonna contract the work?
I don't know.
Would it be the city or would the state be involved?
Well, the state will probably do their part on Main Street, and then we can contract whoever to do the work on Depot. Because the state won't do the work on Depot unless we give them Depot Street. But if we can get the money and include their part of what they want to do, then it gives us a little chance to do the other.
I think
It's-
the biggest concern we got is when you're dealing with the state and they give you a grant for a particular thing, they want that particular thing and it's hard to go back on it. Either you just forfeit it all or whatever, and that's what
I understand that, and I get that, but I want you guys to try to understand from our standpoint, we didn't have any plans to do any of that work. We put in sidewalks and expanded sidewalks and ran sidewalks through the whole town 7 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, we went around and redid the ends. Does that sound right? We put in handicap accessible things on all the corners, right? We put them in when we went through and redid our sidewalks. Only for 7 months later, for the state to come back by and dig every one of those up, because they were on Main Street, and they paid a company to come right back
Do the same
and
thing.
do the same thing we just did, that we just paid out of our pocket for. And we blew, and I say blew, because that's exactly what we did, somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 or $70,000 for them to come right back and dig our work up and go back and do it, because it was on Main Street. Now, those things we can't have, but if they come on our street, then it's a different ballgame. But the whole thing is, we may not get a penny of the money, or we may get a lot of it. And if we wait, that money will go somewhere else, because it's different buckets. And I mean, we've done that in the grants, and I know y'all know that there's buckets everywhere. We just happen to have a bucket of money that's available, and we're trying to get the money so we can do the streets with the money we have. Please understand that. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I promise I'll be quiet.
Oh, that's all right.
Proposal.
You're a Baptist minister. I don't expect that. I don't expect that at all.
On this proposal, there are $12,000 for right-of-way acquisition. What right-of-way are we requiring? What property are you having to purchase for $12,000 to make this happen?
That would be what the state thinks we need to purpose. We've not drawn any plans or done anything. Our whole thing is to get the money. If we get the money, if we don't get the money, we're out.
So
You know.
you don't know whose property the state is asking for?
No, because they're gonna have to ask us. If they go down Depot Street, they have to ask us. I don't know who they did in that thing. I don't have any idea. The state just said, hey, here's something we can do. We got this money. We can help you guys do this if you want it, but you gotta turn it in.
And that doesn't bother anybody else, that the state can tell you this much money needs to be given for property rights, but not tell you which property it's for?
No, it doesn't, because we don't have to buy any property. We're not bound in there. Again, their proposal, their budget, this is what you could do with this money, not this is what you have to do with the money. Yes, sir.
So basically, what I'm seeing on here, I'm getting from this is, like, what the state recommended, it's not legally binding.
No.
So if you send it back in and they approve the grant, you're sure they will allow you to make amends to that, recommend to that, strategy?
They have to, because they can't come on our street and do work. That has to come through us. So yes, that's why I've not been concerned about it. My concern is, hey, I like the idea of the 4 crosswalks up there, and us putting in signs that have blinking lights up at the curve, and over here that says it's a pedestrian crossing, please slow down. That's me. That's the safety side of it that we see as advantageous. The rest of it is a chance maybe for y'all to buy concrete, and I just poured 70 yards last week, and I can tell you, it's high. We just spent $8,000 to fix a spot that wasn't big as nothing, you know, and that's a concrete, that's not the work. So I don't know how far the money would even go as far as somebody doing it. I don't have a clue, because I don't know what they'll say it costs to put that in the square.
So if the plan altogether was just to ask for money from the Department of Transportation, right? If that's just the plan, then why email us and ask us for support letters? Why ask us our opinion if your opinion is just to go at it, ask for money, and then ask us our opinion later? Why ask us up front and give us the information either?
Okay, here's the exact reason. The more letters of support we have to send in with the grant, the better our chances are of winning the grant.
Fantastic. How many letters of support did you get?
60.
Great. I got 200 coming.
85 signatures.
85 non-supporting signatures.
Okay, then we do that and we don't do anything, then what happens? Then what's the other option?
Next grant funding cycle,
Mhm.
and we do this the right way.
Okay, and if that's the right way and there's no money there, then where are we?
Then you give that sidewalk to us, and we'll apply for a Cannon Foundation grant. The only reason the Cannon Foundation won't fund that grant for us is because it is your responsibility to do it. But if you gave that property to us, the Cannon Foundation would honor our grant request to do that sidewalk.
And if I give you that sidewalk, then I have to give the sidewalk to everybody else and they get to do as they want to. I don't get to do for you guys, that's just it. I have to think about the whole town in general, y'all. I don't get to think about one spot. But again, please trust me when I say, we're not doing this to upset anybody. We're just gonna see if we can get the grant.
So if you would put in the minutes of this meeting, exactly what you said, that it would be drive over curbing, and there would not be parallel parking on Depot Street. If we could get that in the minutes of this meeting, then our opposition would be much less.
Much less, even though we're improving the value of your property, right? But it would be much less, not completely gone.
Correct.
Okay, I'm hearing this. All I can do, y'all, let me turn the grant in. Let's just see if we win anything.
So you're not gonna put in the minutes of this meeting?
I can put in the minutes. We can go under new and unfinished business and put it in there.
Okay.
And we'll do that if that's what it takes to make everybody happy, that we don't want step gutter or step curbing, because it would be the most foolish thing in the world for the town to cut off their own parking place.
We completely agree. We just need that in writing.
Well, that, I don't know, these guys, the boards can do that. I don't get to make a motion and I don't get to vote, but unless we have a tie tonight, and God willing, be the first time I've ever got to vote as mayor. So I'm pretty excited about that. So if y'all just want to make a tie tonight so I can have some official thing besides sit in the hot seat, I'm happy with that. That'll work out great for me. It's okay. I mean, that tells you how much I think of the mayor. You get vote in case of a tie. There's 5 commissioners, do the math. So that's how that works out. But y'all, please understand, it's not to jeopardize or to do anything for anybody. We can do that at the end of this under new and unfinished business. We can put that in motion. That's not the hard thing to do. But I want you guys to understand that we're on the same page you are. We too have a vested interest in what goes on behind there. So why would we do something foolish enough to cut our nose off, spite our face? But if they want to give us money, I want to take it, because we've got nothing from the state except this road fix. Of course, I can't fuss too much because that's going to end up being $4 million to curb and gutter that street on one side, not on the other. So I don't know how far that money's going to go, and I don't know what they're going to charge to put a crosswalk. In looking at the crosswalk, I'm like, well, I could have painted some lines in the road for nothing, because that's what it looks like to me, that they measured, painted lines, and went on. So that's what I saw in the thing. But for me, I know that if you ask anybody, Halloween, we closed the street, right? We closed everything in there. That worked out really, 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 really well. So safety's always going to be, we're going to err on the side of safety. And that's what our whole goal is here, is to put that in there. And it covers just a lot on liability. So it'll help all of us. And that's the idea. Please understand that.
Really, all we want is just a written account of your true intentions, so we all know, just in the name of transparency, really.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not an issue, because this got sprung on us late, and I don't want to say sprung on us. We've had that, But when the DOT calls and says, hey, we want to give you this money, we're like, well, that never happens before, because the DOT doesn't contact anybody to hand anything off. So, you know, hopefully, this will work out well, and we get the money, and then we do that, and I can put spinners on the police cars. That's the other thing, but I didn't put that in there either. So when we do that, things will be great, but that's it. That's all we got. And I gotta kill this so we can get the rest of the meeting going on. If you guys you can stick around if you want, but we get down to the end, somebody I'm sure will make a motion that we can, you know, we'd like to see that done as not step curbing, but as.
Drive over.
Yeah, but that ain't, what do they call that?
I don't know
Step
exactly.
and valley curbing. Valley curbing, there we go, that's the words we're looking for.
Now, as far as, parallel parking on the other side, I would say we need to do that, since it does have the step curbing.
I don't have a problem
Okay.
with that, but I don't own that property, I don't have vested interest in it, I would recommend.
Well, I mean, step curbing's already there and don't have a drive-through, so.
I tell you,
It's a no-brainer to me. on
for
that
me, and this is me thinking, and I may be crazy, because that road's so wide, we would all benefit more if it was 45-degree parking down there. Make it a lot easier to get in and out of, and you'd gain more parking, because the road is.
one. If you don't do but one side, you can do that.
Yeah, and do that. And I think that would probably be, in my opinion, that would be the best way to do that. You get more bang for your buck on a 45-degree
But
parking.
as far as people saying it's came before this board before, no, it has not. I promise you, it has not.
We hadn't seen it.
I
It
mean,
might
you
have
can
been
look
sitting
at, you can
here.
look in the meeting, the minutes.
In the minutes of your last meeting,
I was not here, so
in the minutes of your last meeting, if this was.
As far as me,
Yeah.
I
So
can promise you.
You were not, correct, but in the minutes of the last meeting,
I'm not.
somebody approved this.
To submit the grant, not to agree to the plans. Make sure you read those minutes good. I try to say them, but that's the idea, is to submit the grant, not the other. But let us get on and see if we can do this. Trust me, we'll put that in here if that's what we need to do. These guys are sitting here, they're listening, we ought to be in good shape. Shouldn't be any problems. Because, well, again, y'all, we don't want to jeopardize your stuff. We're right there, we're your next door neighbors. The only thing we want is for the man that's got the new truck at the post office to let us drive it around instead of just parking it down there and teasing us. I don't think I can get him into that. Not offense, not beating on the postmaster or anything. All right, we move along. Let's go to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve it as presented or to fuss about something that's not right.
Motion so moved.
All right, is there a second? All right. Have a motion, a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, the porta potty Christmas parade request. Where is porta and potty? Well, I'll do the announcements. We can do those. How come, I'm not reading. You see what we got tomorrow. Town hall's closed. Also for Thanksgiving, you see that day, Thursday and Friday. Christmas tree lighting will be at the Presbyterian Church in the V. We're gonna do that Friday. The elementary school will sing, we'll have vendors. We will close the street from the square to what? Top of the hill, at the bridge. Yeah, so we will do that. And don't forget the Christmas parade, please. I know you guys will participate. Anybody you see, try to get them to do it. I had the meeting today with the pastors. My last thing I said was we need to get more, we need to have every church in that. And that is really how it started. And that would be a better way to go back. You know, that's a big thing for us. So that part there, you see our next board meeting will be December 8th. That'll be the Monday after the Christmas parade. And then you see what our schedule is for Christmas. Anything else? Anybody can think of anything else? All right, cool beans. So now we will cruise on after we've gone back and forth and back and forth. The porta potty, how much are we looking for in the porta potties? I need some guidance. Does anybody know? How much? Did we do a dollar amount last year? Or did we do a number? How much has Cedric gone up over that time? Does anybody know? All right, guys, I'm open for suggestions here. We can either do it as a dollar amount, or we can say how many, or we can not do it, or we can do all of it. I don't know what you think.
What did we do last year?
We did $1,000 is what we did.
How many porta potties?
That was 5? 5, I think. We can beat on Cedric and tell him it's Christmas. Where's the season of giving? and try to see if we can get 6, but that, if we do that, we just need to make sure we do that, but we do need to approve that, allowing $1,000. If you wanna do 1,000, if you wanna do 12, I don't know what,
I'll put that
1,200.
in the form of a motion, do 12 just in,
In case we gotta,
but for 5, but put a number on it.
okay. So we have a $1,200 with 5 porta-johns. Is there a second? That's the motion. Is there a second to that number?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion or questions about what we're doing there? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, did contract, we did do this last time, but we made a boo. We approved 2 contracts instead of 1. So we either need to say, Rebecca, if you got that contract in front, I can pull it up here. Let me go back over here. I can pull it up. I can about do it off my head.
There's a 5-year contract and a 10-year contract for the bridge.
Yeah.
And a 5-year contract and a 10-year contract for.
Everything else. And for everything else, we did it at 5 years. I'm thinking I'm saying that right. Isn't that how we did the others?
I believe so.
Isn't that right, how we did the others? The 5-year contract, because it was, the money was paid out quicker. Travis, you got that thing in front of you? Look at it and see what you see. I believe that we did it that way. Is how we did the rest of them.
See, it don't have which ones for,
Well, it's both of them, but we need to either do it, it's 5, what's the total cost? Because we did it one way because it saved us money. Let me look at this thing. Put these Godzilla glasses on, because you know I can't see nothing. If I blow the font up big enough, I don't have a big enough screen. The 5-year is one, if you look right here where it says, dun, 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 0 years, your summary of estimated cost, 3 years, the 5 years is 112, we did. Yeah. I can tell you that's what we did before we go in. We did one, we did it at 5 years and used their money. That's how we did the last ones. We did. Overall, the overall total cost changes. But where it gets you is look at your one-time charges and you see the difference there. I can go back and pull it back up. 25 and a 5-year total cost.
well, no, there's a 10-year, is it not? Is that
Yeah,
not a 10-year?
There's a 10-year also, but look at your total cost. Because then when you go to 10-year, it goes up. The total cost goes up. And that's it. All righty. Let me make sure. Did we do, how did we do, Rebecca, are you sure we did the others? I thought we did the other ones at 5 years, but I could be wrong. We paid out the one-time cost and then did it for 5 years, where the other one, you don't have to pay out the one-time cost to do it for 10 years, but it's more advantageous to do it for the 5 years. Because the 5 years, we pay the one-time cost and we miss 5 years of payments. It releases them a little bit too.
That 96, is that for the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
6 lights, or that put my phone?
No, that's the bridge. That's exactly what it is. See, if you'll look, total cost for initial term, 19.5. Look at what you got here. When it goes 3 years, total cost for initial term, you see what you have. If you do it 10 years, you see that 19,000. And when you go over here and you do it, you get the 5-year deal. Dun, 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 dun. See the difference? It's about a $10,000 difference. That's why we did them for each. Either one's 23, and you don't have to do it in a 5-year deal. So what we need to do is do it as a 5-year contract.
What's the total on that one?
The 5-year contract. We have to pay the initial cost. Does anybody know what that initial cost is without me digging through
Is
here?
that the 5-year one?
Mm,
8107.
Yeah.
810720.
there we go. There's your cost, Travis. And that's for one part of it, there's two of them though, correct? 81 there and 8002. 81, what's that one number? 81 what? And 8002, 05, what's the other one? 81. I'm scrolling through here 90 miles an hour. As fast as I can. Trying to, guys, I promise. The other one's 810720. Should we do this as two separate contracts, or you want to do it as one? What makes it cleaner for you, Rebecca?
You can do the contract at the same time.
Just do them both at the same time. The total is going to be
And both of them 5 years.
16,109.25 should be your total, correct? Versus you do it 10-year, you see where you come out. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. So if we do it at that, that'll save us some money, a ton of money. All right. However you guys want to do, but if we do it, if you do the 5-year contract, it's 16,109.25 is the total. And if you look at that 10-year on whichever one it is, 6, it's 23,508. It saves us about $14,000 to do the one-time payment thing. Dun, 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 dun.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 5-year contract for
For both of them.
$16,109.25.
All right, there is the,
One-time payment, right?
yes. And it's done and taken care of. So there's your motion to do both of them as 5 years for a total of 16,109.25. And that way we don't have to pay the other ongoing cost of $195 over 10 years or whatever. And you see it saves us about 16, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20-some thousand dollars. So I need a second for that, or we'll let it die.
Second.
All right, I got 3 seconds. So there's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. Cool beans. All right, the next one is the Smith Brother, the paving. For that, where to take it out of. Got a idea? You got an idea? Okay, let's do that. Why don't we do that? I need a motion to take that money from appropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. 2 seconds again. All right. All right, so the motion is to take the money from appropriated fund balance right now. It's early in the year. And then we have a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, if you look and see, the next thing on here is the Field the Food Bank's 5K. We knew doing this, it would be our first year. You see what you run into. We're about dead blame even is about where we are, but we would take all the money that we brought in and our t-shirts, meal shirts, prizes were 17. Salisbury Runners Club was $575. We had 63 runners, not 59, 63. And we got great feedback from what we had. Matter of fact, I've gotten, the only thing we've heard is, and it wasn't anything we created, was that the road portion should be coned so the return portion wasn't coned, which it would have been had we not changed that.
We were running cones down both sides, and then I believe the event coordinator for the Rowan, the Salisbury Runners, said we needed to take it all the way up to the bridge, and that basically took all the cones that we had left. And I think next year, like you proposed, make a different route, because there's no way we could really get 2 cones on both sides of that street up there.
Well, it's hard, like you say, the road's wide. Yeah, that's the only thing we had. So if we take the money we've gotten in here And, town covers the, cost. We raised, what, $2,000, 16,245, which is okay. What, take the money we got in, donate that to food town, let the town pay the cost of the event. But that's something we need to do that, and if we take that and divide it 3 ways, well, we got $700 place, $650, something like that. 672, some crazy number if I did it really quick. Let's not do it really quick. Let's try it that other way. The money we take in, we donate to the food banks, and the town covers the cost of the race. Is everybody good with that? That'll tell us what our analytics need to know. All right. We'll work on that. Just hold it. We'll be good. How much was it?
681.
I was off $10. What the hell? I'm slipping.
Well, it's 681.66.
I am slipping.
I don't really wanna.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm good with that. I can't believe I'm slipping. Ooh, my math skills are going downhill.
Forgot this.
I missed that $10. I don't want. Oh yeah, we got to do the invoice. We got to make sure we pay Smith Brothers. They'll like to know about that. So if we could-
681.66 is going to each food bank.
yeah, that's one in Mount Ella to Common Ground and to South River to those food banks. So everybody will know what's going on.
We need to put that in the form of a motion.
We can.
I'll put that in the form of a motion.
That we split all the proceeds evenly between the 3 food banks, Mount Ella, Common Ground, and South River.
Hopefully it'll grow and get better.
Oh, it'll be better. We already got hopes for that.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, we did not do Smith Brothers invoice. I'm over here dancing around. Ain't gonna make my 7 o'clock thing. Looking at scope of work, it's, we need a budget amendment. You wanna pull that out of fund balance too?
No, we would pull it out of Powell bill.
But we just have to approve it to come out of Powell
I'll
bill.
make a motion, we, approve the
27,875.
$2,775 to pay Smith Brothers. Work's already been done, and get that, or
Use Powell
do a
bill.
budget amendment to use Powell bill money.
All right, there's your motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, everybody keep on second. It works out good. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, we go to the commissioner reports. Travis, you start us.
As far as the guys, no issues on the water and sewer side except for the sewer plant. Had to pull the paddle wheel from the clarifier, had a bad bearing. As far as general, pretty much starting to finish up mowing and trimming our trees, clean Mill Street up, 12 utility locates, and heavy trash was 2 days of that, so.
Good deal.
And they'll be putting Christmas lights up before we know it.
Cool beans. All right, there's that. John Bradford.
The fence is up at the park at the school on School Street, completed Saturday.
All right. John Brown.
Just a couple of comments. I will say that when it comes to Neil Moore Street, the work that they did over there, very appreciated. Looks good and a little bit smoother than what it used to be. And as far as the 5K, I thought it went real well. I had a good time while we were registering people, and based on the comments that I saw, well, if we go for half a marathon next time?
I think that'd be the way to do that. And we're gonna make sure John Bradford leads the pack. We're gonna say John Bradford wants to be the man in front. That's what we're gonna let him do.
We give him a vehicle.
We're gonna have to give him a vehicle. Or tell him to ride a horse or something. Anything, something, put him out there. All right. Good deal. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Janetta.
I got a phone call about speed bumps on Pfeiffer Street, which I talked to the person. I'm like, Pfeiffer Street is not that long. But they say traffic comes down through there speeding. I don't know how you can go fast on Pfeiffer Street. But anyway, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
And Pastor Mike, I had you, so I checked you out. I also got, and I talked to Chief, after the Halloween on Depot, how the traffic was detoured. A citizen talked about, I guess it was detoured on Cemetery Street. And cars were parked on both sides, so it was a little congestion getting through there. And then when you came off of Third Creek and had to go to church, kids in the street, safety issue. So I talked to Chief about that, so I guess we'll look at that next year.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Did anybody say anything about us closing the streets? You didn't give any complaints about that, did you?
Not about closing. They were still about the safety of the kids.
Cool
And
beans.
that walking on Church Street, and then the congestion on Cemetery Street.
Cool beans.
Was it? Yeah, cause when you have to,
Church is where
cause
they
you had to
go.
go around and go church to get back on Main,
I
right?
think cemetery is pretty clear. I think churches were all the traffic was. They were parked
Church
on the
was parked.
side next to, where the Haggons live.
For the for the
And then I
trunk or
guess
treat
those
at the
kids
church.
still walking.
Yes.
in the
Lordy,
street. Yeah.
I don't know how, I can't be everybody's mom and dad. That's gonna be tough. Whew. All right.
You know, I mean, we can talk about that thing.
Okay, but we'll just do we'll just have to make a note of that so we can do our planning. All right, cause, thinking and going into Christmas and what we'll close then, we'll know what we're up against. But we will all get together and make sure we got it before then. All right, for myself, nothing exciting as far as people moving into town or anything. I think the, closing on the Brown property got bumped from the 15th of December to, was it April? And what they're doing is they're waiting on the Army Corps of Engineers, and the Army Corps of Engineers is behind because they got a little project due in the western part of the county, or the western part of the state. You know, there's 154 bridges, much less roads and all that, so I know we're wanting to hurry up and get going, but it's kinda hard to make that when we're up against that up there.
Yeah, Scott up there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Scott there.
What?
Scott.
We ain't even talking about Scott. We ain't messing with Scott. He's out. We just want him to ride up here so he could see us. We ain't gotta worry with him. All right, before we go to closed session, we will, because I've jumped around everywhere else. Scott, I know you wanted to address us. We'll add you right quick, so you can get out of here, right?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and board members, for allowing me a few moments to update the board on recent activities of the Rowan Economic Development Council. Only have a few weeks left in the year, and activity level as a whole for the EDC has been above average all year. And then we gauge our activity on what we call projects. That's when we have a building or a site or a service or a program that meets the requirements a company has in order to consider Rowan County as a location for their business or to expand their business. So with that said, with about 7 weeks left in 2025, we've already exceeded last year's total for projects. We had 106 all of last year. We're at 116 now. We should see a few more before things start to slow down around the holidays. Excuse me. And regarding some more Cleveland-specific project activity, we have submitted the Brown property for a couple of projects recently. One was for an electronic components manufacturer. They wanted to, I guess, build a 300,000 square foot facility and bring about 95 employees with them. And also we had a company, a US-based company that makes replacement doors and windows, looking to hire about 400 people in their chosen location. And they actually came and visited the Brown property back in August. The Insight folks actually flew in from Chicago for that visit. Thought it went well. We're still waiting to hear on that one, but very nice company, family-based company, faith-based company that I think would fit in really well in Rowan County. And also regarding the Meadows property, we've submitted that one for, I guess, 4 projects in the last few months. One was for a cosmetics manufacturer, one was for a metal fabricator, one was for an auto component manufacturer, and the 4th one we weren't told the specific industry type, just that it was a manufacturer. And then also regarding the Meadows property, I think the last time I was here I mentioned to the board that we were about to send out an RFP to area engineering firms to, I guess, acquire endangered species and historic or archaeological reports on the Meadows property. This is part of our ongoing effort to make the site more attractive to developers by trying to assemble due diligence on the property. We've already done phase 1 reports and wetlands on the property at no charge to the owner. And so we selected the firm of F&R Engineering to do these reports, and they have come back to us in the last couple of weeks, and happy to report there were no endangered species identified by the engineers during their field visits to the property. And also, the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources sent a letter to us saying that they'd reviewed the property and they were not aware of any potential historic resources that would be affected by developing that property. All that's good news, helps make the site more appealing to developers. And we want to thank the property owners for agreeing to participate, and we've given a copy of this report to them at no cost. I provided a copy to you, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
as
I saw
well.
that.
So again, we're trying to assemble due diligence on the property. Regarding some recent EDC events, we had our 3rd annual Developer Appreciation Event in Kannapolis on the 15th of October. Again, this is an event to thank the development community for their interest and investment in Rowan County. Also helped sponsor a community job fair that was held on September 17th at the Old Mall, West End Plaza, Rowan Community Center. Pick your title for that building, but you know what I'm talking about. Had several hundred job seekers attend that. And normally the first week of October is National Manufacturing Week. We celebrate it month-long for the whole month of October in Rowan County. Had a couple of events recently, including a Women in Manufacturing panel on October 22nd, and also our Manufacturing Appreciation Luncheon on October 30th. And one of the guest speakers was Craig Redshaw, the plant manager at Daimler. He had some great insight to share with our panel. That was much appreciated. And we also held our quarterly manufacturing meeting on November 7th.
We did save the butterfly. The monarch butterfly is safe if we develop that property right.
Monarch
That was
butterfly,
the-
also
was the
that,
big- That was gonna be our big concern. I saw that underneath there.
Yeah, the other
It's
one
not
was that-
endangered now, but it could possibly get on the list, and we're not gonna disturb them.
No, that or that, I can't pronounce it, but that type of sunflower. It's got a
Yeah,
German
and
sounding
it's,
name.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so we're not gonna feed the doves, and we're not gonna make the butterflies mad. We're gonna be all right. We can develop the property. There we go.
And all joking aside, this is stuff that companies want to see. They want to mitigate
want to
risk,
see
and
that
it
it's
does
done,
help
yeah.
that. So yeah, we're trying to assemble that and make the sites more viable. And just briefly, some upcoming events. We're having our EDC Board of Directors meeting this Thursday at 3:30 at the Gateway Building. Anybody from the board is welcome to attend. It's open to the public. And you may have read in the news recently about the announced closure of the PCA box plant in Spencer. Of course, that I think affects a lot of people in Rowan County. We're going to be holding a job fair for those displaced workers. That's going to be on November 17th, again at the Rowan Community Center. Already have around 30 employers who've signed up for it. We're trying to get more, trying to get these folks hired. And also, Town of Cleveland's an investor in the Rowan EDC. We're having our investor holiday party on December 4th. That's a Thursday from 5 to 7 at the Salisbury Country Club. Board's welcome to attend that as an investor. And then finally, I'd just like to close by thanking the Town of Cleveland for its continued support of the EDC in our efforts. Economic development is a team sport, and I think all of us are committed to making Cleveland a more prosperous community. So,
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all you do. Thanks. December the 4th, if it's possible, of course, that'd be the night before we have Christmas tree lighting, before we have the parade on the next day. We might be busy, but if we can, it would be good for us to show up.
and this is a rolling thing. You can just come and stay for a few minutes, not a problem
5
at
to
all.
7 at the Country Club of Salisbury.
So, and you may have already gotten the invitation. If you haven't, let me
I
know. I'll
did.
resend it. So.
Yeah, I just got it not long ago. I just saw it in my emails. Cool beans. Scott, thank you so very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Have-
That way you can sneak out of here, and y'all, we need to go to closed session. So in order to go to closed session, we need to ask you guys if you can to leave us alone for just a little bit, and then we come back into unfinished business. That General Johnson, chairman of the board, you know. Give me just one time, and my love will surely grow. Then once she says, baby. Now, the new guy tries to do it, but he ain't got, he ain't got, you know, it's not the same. All righty. We are ready, so now we go to other new or unfinished business.
Okay. First, I'd like, based on public comments concerning the crosswalk grant, I'd like to make a motion to put in the minutes that the intent of the town is to put valley curbing along Depot Street next to common ground.
Cool beans.
I'll second.
There we go. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. There's one down.
There you go.
Now, the second one, I need somebody else. With Rebecca, in lieu of Rebecca's.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we accept Rebecca's resignation as finance officer.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All righty. I need one more.
Make a motion that Kelly, pay stays the same, with duties as finance officer until that position is filled.
Cool beans. There's a
Second.
motion. We have a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. Any more?
I'd like to rescind the motion, to move 200,000 from cash management to checking from September's meeting,
Okay. Is
since
there-
we're pretty good in checking.
Sure enough, we said.
Second.
We're good. All right. Motion is second. All those in favor signify by aye. Cool. There's that. All right.
Is there
I
any?
think we need a
We're not
motion
gonna post
on
the
the
We're not posting
job
the job.
announcement.
Just shoot a rocket.
I'll make a motion, we, accept the job description as finance officer as presented,
Okay, do you wanna say, and go ahead and advertise that?
and go ahead and
job?
advertise the open position.
All right, there's the motion to accept the, finance officer job as presented. The top- And to advertise it starting Wednesday? Okay? All right, so that's the second. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. What about Jessup stuff?
Make a motion that we, extend his, holiday,
Vacation pay.
and a cure time till, where they have to take it till the fiscal year
Cool.
ends,
All right,
June 30th.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. That work? All right, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, now I need the most important motion of the night.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much. Need one of those, and we're out of here. Cool beans. Thank you, guys. Thank y'all for coming. I hope we're on the same page. We gotta do, hold on. Let me back up a minute. We can't adjourn. Take that back. We need to approve Eddie's audit contract.
I'll make a motion, we, open the meeting back up, or
There it is.
you can do that.
I can do that. We open the meeting back up. The meeting's not closed. We go back to business. We need to approve Eddie Kurg's contract, his contract from the modified due date. The original due date was 10/31. We need to change it to 12/31. That's to keep our local
Housekeeping.
government council doing the housekeeping
I'll put
thing.
that in form of a motion.
There's our motion. I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. Now I